Namaste. This video is based on some questions asked by Shumanto Bhomik about the concept of Maya.
The Vedantic concept of Maya and how should we deal with it. If the whole world is considered illusory and false, then are all human endeavors waste and worthless, meaningless? Well, the concept of Maya is like saying, according to physics, it's like E is equal to mc square, like everything is energy. So even though everything is energy, that doesn't mean that the world that we see surrounding us is false, isn't it? The whole world that we sense with our five senses, it's there, though it's all basically energy. So also it's all Brahma, it's all consciousness, it's consciousness and energy, Chaitanya and Shakti. That is the basic truth of the universe. Even then, this reality is also true. It's not saying that this is not true. It's just saying that the absolute truth of it is the consciousness and energy part of it. And the rest of it is continuously ever-changing world, isn't it? That is okay. Like we already know that the world is always continuously changing. It's transient. Those of you who are acquainted with Ramakrishna Dev's sayings, they already know that Ramakrishna used to say again and again that this is also true and that is also true, which means that this created world is also true and everything is Brahma or everything is energy, even that concept is true. He also used to give the example of coconut. The fibrous part is as much part of the coconut as the inner shell, as the whitish pulp, and then the water of the coconut. Just as all of it is part of the whole of coconut, so also this physical dimension, the pranic dimension, vital energies, forces, and the subtle realms, everything is part of the being of God. And even you remember Vivekananda saying, like Swamiji used to say, God is the sum total of all the souls. Upanishad used to say that this world is like the spider's web, which has been created by God, who is like the spiders. Like the spider's web comes out of the spider. Now, if I say the spider's web is also as much conscious as the spider itself, it's like that. The individual souls are real, the platform is also real. So there is a reality to it. If you have already seen my relativity of time video, time for every level is different. When we are judging from our human perspective, an ant which might have its lifespan of 1 year, within that one human year actually, that ant might be living 80 to 100 years. It is completing its own life cycle within that time. Dog or a cat, they have a lifespan of 7 to 15 years. That doesn't mean that it's actually 7 to 15 years for them. For them it's 80 to 100 years maybe. So time is relative, and the higher you go, time becomes very different. So when you enter this dimension, what seems like you have lived a life of maybe 80 years, when you come out of this realm and go to the higher dimension, immediately you understand, well, it was just 80 days. You see, Uttarayan and Dakshinayan of the Hindu scriptures, our human 6 months is for the gods the daytime, and the other 6 months of the year it's night time for gods. So for every 1 year, human 1 year, is actually 1 day for the gods, the devatas. The higher you go, if you have lived 80 years here, for the devatas it's like 80 days. The higher you go, it might be 80 minutes or 80 seconds. So all your sufferings, all your sorrows, all your experiences, when it comes down, okay, it was an experience of just 80 seconds or 80 minutes, what does it seem like? It seems like a dream, isn't it? So also, that is why when they say that it's all Maya, it's like a dream, that is from that perspective. But the moment you enter again, your consciousness again comes down to this level, it seems all real to you, and it is real. But when you perceive it, when you look back at your memories, when you have gone out of this dimension to an higher dimension, from that perspective again it seems like a dream, because it's like poof, you lived, you had all your experiences and you are gone. So from that perspective, it feels like an illusion, it feels like a dream. But when you enter this dimension, it again feels real. So I hope you understand why it was called Maya, why this world is called Maya. Because it's ever fleeting. And even Thakur says, isn't it? Nitto anitto, anitto. Anitto, anitya is like impermanent. It's continuously changing. That's why Maya. But when you are in this dimension, experiencing it from this perspective, it's completely real to you. So the concept of Maya doesn't mean that your life is worthless and meaningless. It just gives you the sense of a bit of detachment. Like you enjoy the world, you don't get attached to it. You are taking care of a garden. The flowers that are blooming today will be gone tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, and new flowers will come, and you are continuously enjoying the flowers that continuously bloom or wither away. You don't get attached to one particular rose, and you don't think that this rose should last forever with me. No. So also, like, the concept of Maya gives you that sense of detachment, that all the relationships, all the friendships, and all, everything that comes and goes in this world, you enjoy it all with a sense of detachment. You don't get so attached that you want it to last with you forever, because it's continuously changing. You never know what will happen tomorrow. And if somebody asks, how can we apply this in our lives? Well, you can just hear this now, but it's absolutely impossible to be able to apply it in your life, this sense of detachment, unless you have sadhana. You have to have sadhana and you have to experience it. Not that I'm not talking about the highest nirvikalpa samadhi, but at least you have to experience it in some stage. Like there are other experiences, the smaller experiences, like, okay, it's all energy, or this is Maya. Smaller experiences are there even before you reach the highest state, nirvikalpa samadhi. So you have to have some kind of experience, and that experience transforms you. It transforms your mind, your way of thinking, and then you can apply it. Before that, no matter how many times you read it or think of it or meditate upon it, you can't apply it in your life. And even if you think that, well, I can apply it in my life, but when circumstances occur, certain circumstances that provoke you, you will lose your balance and you will respond to it in an ignorant way. So it's necessary that you do your sadhana and experience that state, and then you can apply it in your own life. I hope I could make myself clear. If there are other questions, please feel free to communicate with me in the comment section. Namaste. Hari Om. Jai Ma. Jai Thakur.